Hey, what's up guys? Loki619 and I've got another video for all of you, and today we're doing a PC build. For this particular build, I'm going to call this the 2016 $300 Intel gaming PC. And I do have to put a question mark at the end of that because, and you have to stress the question mark by saying PC, because it's not, when somebody says gaming PC, they're thinking, they're thinking massive coolers, they're thinking massive graphics processing units, they're thinking, really big power supplies, really awesome cases with lights and everything. For $350, you gotta be a little realistic. You're not gonna get a whole lot of PC for $350. But the reason I'm showing this video to you guys is because I do have a lot of people that watch my videos and that send me questions through YouTube, through Facebook, a bunch of other services that they can get their hands on. They direct message me or private message me, and they all have the same question. Like, how can I build a PC for $350 that I can use to watch videos on, that I can use to make videos on, or that I can use to play some games on? And for this particular build, for $350, that's the sweet point for a lot of you, simply because a lot of you are younger, are a little bit younger, don't have jobs yet, or are living off of donations from friends and family, or birthday gifts, something like that, Christmas presents and things like that, and you're saving up your money, which is great. I do appreciate that. I'm sure you guys will appreciate that too when you get older and you start learning the habits of saving money. But $350, you want to get your money's worth, right? So what I'm going to do today is talk about an Intel build, and I'm going to call it a gaming PC with the question mark, because you can play some games on it, but don't expect to be playing the best and the newest games on any settings whatsoever. And then later on in this video, we'll also show you how, if you're looking to maybe add an extra $150 to $300, how you can improve this build so that you can play some of these games later on, and make this, one of those really awesome PCs that you didn't have to spend a whole lot of money on. So, without further ado, let's talk about what's in this soup that we call my gaming PC. So, what exactly did I put into this soup? I mean, PC build. First off, we've got the brains, and for the brains, I picked the Intel Pentium G3258 Anniversary Edition. Now, there's different editions out there for the G3528 or 3258. I'm dyslexic now, that you can get, but I just prefer the Anniversary Edition because it's great to what's your PC? What's your CPU? It's an Intel Pentium G3258 Anniversary Edition. You gotta stress the Anniversary Edition so that people think that you're fancy and whatnot. But anyhow, this goes for $66.99 on Amazon. And again, you might be able to find this cheaper at other retailers, but I went through Amazon simply because I had Amazon-itis. I'm addicted to buying stuff on Amazon. The next thing that went into this PC is the motherboard, and for this particular build, I picked the MSI H81 Micro ATX motherboard for the reason that if I wanted to, I could allow myself to overclock this build. For example, the nice thing about the Pentium G3258 is that you can overclock it, and with this particular motherboard, that allows me to do just that. Now, another thing that's beautiful about this build is it's based off of the LGA 1150 socket. So if later on I got, let's say, a couple $100 or $300, whatever, and I wanted to upgrade this system, all I'd have to do is pull out that G3258 Pentium, replace it with a Haswell Core i5 or Core i7, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And by just replacing that particular item on this build, you'll be able to take this from a PC, a budget build, to a build that's pretty hefty. So that's one of the things I wanted to keep in mind too when I built this rig, is future expansion. So for now, it's a $350 build with Windows, but later on, again, all I gotta do is switch out that CPU and I'm golden. The next ingredient in this build would be memory, and for that we're doing the DDR3 8GB kit from Crucial, and this is their Ballistic Sport package, and this went for about $40.99 on Amazon when I got this a while back. So check the prices before you say that I gave you the wrong prices. But again, for about 8GB DDR3 memory, you're looking at about $41, $42 max. You might even be able to find an 8GB kit for about $35 if you look hard enough, or in some cases, depending when and where you look, you might even be able to find a 16GB kit for $45, $50. So get as much memory as you can afford. If you're on a budget, $40 should be that sweet point for you as far as DDR3 memory. The next component in this build would be storage, and for that I spent $49.99 plus tax, of course, on the Western Digital 1TB hard drive. This is a conventional hard drive, so it's not really, not an SSD or anything like that, but you might be able in some cases to find an SSD for about $40, $50, but I wouldn't recommend them unless it's at least 128 gigabytes or more, simply because if you, even at 128 gigabytes, you're probably looking at, it's going to be tough once you start installing stuff on there, especially with Windows 10 and all the updates. So I would recommend at least a 240 gigabyte SSD if that's what you're looking to do. But anything less than that, you're probably toying with disaster as far as trying to update later on. But for this one, I went with a conventional hard drive, and it is the Western Digital 1TB blue. Alrighty, now you've gotten pretty much everything you need to be able to start this build, except you've got nothing to put it in. So for this particular build, I went with the Roseville micro ATX case with a built-in 400 watt PSU or power supply unit. Now, this is not the case that I have. The case that I have went for about $35. I got that at a store called Fry's, which is pretty much here on the west coast of the United States. And again, I got it for about $30, $35. It came with a 350 watt power supply. But I couldn't find that same case online, so I went with the cheapest one that I could find, trying to keep it, again, under $250 without Windows, $350 with Windows. So we went with the $44.75 micro ATX case with the power supply from Roseville. The total cost of all these components without Windows 10 comes out to $246.67. Now keep in mind, these prices are without tax. I'm not going to include the tax on this simply because I don't know where you're building this from. And some states here in the United States and some areas around the world might have different taxation percentages depending on what you buy. Some places might even have value-added tax or VAT added on top of the tax that you spend. So I'm not going to include tax. This is $246.67, a little under $250. With tax here, at least where I live, you're looking at about I would say an extra $20 in tax. So you're looking at about maybe $266, $270 to be on the safe side, out the door, at least off of the the Amazon cart and delivered to your home. With Windows, this is the price right over here. I'm just adding an extra $100 because that's usually about how much Windows 10 will cost you if you're buying it off of Amazon, or possibly the Windows Store. Now, if you want to get a little bit cheaper and you are going to school, which I know a lot of you students, a lot of my subscribers are still in high school and some of you are still in college, what I would recommend doing is talking to your school to see if they have some sort of discount with the Windows 10 online store, or if you can get a discount because you are a student. In a lot of cases, that should bring the Windows cost down to about $80, $85, which isn't bad because that extra $15 you can use to buy yourself, I don't know, some lunch or something, so that you can feed your face while you're building this. Alright, I know this section says it talks about the build, but I'm not going to actually show you a video of me building this because there are dozens of really great YouTubers out there that do an even better job at showing you how to build an actual PC, such as Paul's Hardware, Bitwit, and Jay's 2 Cents. Check them out. Really great guys. I don't know them personally, but I watch a lot of their videos, and I've learned a lot from those guys just, from watching what they do and trying to copy them. But here's a really quick video of the actual build itself. Some of the components already in the system, so you guys can kind of see what your system should look like once you put it together. Now, I do apologize for the dust on this particular system. Again, I built this a few months back, but I'm only now getting around to actually doing the video to show you guys that a $350 rig is possible for gaming. Again, not the best rig out there, but at least it'll get you through the night. One of my biggest disappointments about this case is the fact that there are no cutouts for me to be able to run the cables through, so I can put a little bit of better cable management in it. But then again, it is a budget case. Now, also keep in mind, this is not the Roswell that I put at the very beginning. This is a totally different case, and I don't even know what case, if this case has a name or not. So the Roswell might have cutouts, but if it does, I'm hoping it does, but if it does, use them so that you can manage your cables properly and get some really great airflow in your case. So this is what it's going to look like if you don't have proper cable management. It's got like a sea of cable spaghetti in it, and I'm going to show you a little bit later when I do some upgrades on this particular build what it should look like, or what it can look like with, you know, if you try your best to manage the cables. So let's go take a look. And there you have it, a PC that comes in at about $250 without Windows, $350 with Windows, that will play games such as CSGO, like you saw earlier in this clip, Gmod, and Minecraft. Now this machine will also play a lot of other games that you'll find on Steam, but what I recommend is checking the requirements for each of these games and to make sure that they line up with the specs of this PC before you actually purchase that game. Now, how do we make this machine better? As I mentioned earlier, switch out the CPU if you want to, or add a graphics card. Now, for this particular video, we're going to add a graphics card that will run about, that upgrade can cost you anywhere between $150 to $300 depending on the graphics card that you pick. For this particular build, it's going to probably add about an extra $200, just because this is an older graphics card. I didn't actually pay for this. This came from my other machine, and so it's going into this machine to hopefully make it a little bit better. This is the graphics card that I pulled from one of my other machines. I'm going to clean it up before I stick it in this, but this particular graphics card, brand new, cost me about $180 at the time. So I would say about $200 is what you're looking to spend for a decent graphics card that will get you that one step further into a decent gaming machine. Now this particular graphics card is an AMD Radeon R7 270X. It's overclocked. So it's not, it will play Grand Theft Auto for sure. I've tried that, but it's not without its own set of problems. So I'm gonna go clean this up, make sure that it is dust free before I stick it into my rig. Another way you can improve this setup is to replace the power supply. Now when I got this rig, this had about a 320 watt power supply in it, or 350, I'm not sure. But regardless, it wasn't really 400, 450, but I wanted to do something different, add a little bit more juice to this, because I am adding a graphics card. And one of the worst things you could do with a rig is not have enough power, because otherwise it's going to be shutting off constantly. You're going to be wondering, why does my game keep dying on me, or why does my machine keep restarting on me? So for that, I am taking a power supply that I had pulled from a different machine, and this will probably add another $50 to $100 to your build if you wanted to do that. Yeah, this is the Antec 450 watt power supply, and it's going to run you probably about $40 if you get it on sale.
So here's this rig. It's up and running now. It's noisy though, because you can hear all the fans running at the same time. There are 3 fans, all of them close proximity to each other. So this is pretty loud. I might have to take one of these spots out and stick a fan controller in there if it gets too loud for streaming. So we'll have to see.
So here we are with the Cinebench. We're going to do some testing on it. This is without the graphics card. And one thing you'll notice is that it runs a lot slower because the CPU, in this case the Pentium G3258, has to do all of the work and pull all of the weight of this machine. It has to render the graphics, it's got to think about what it's going to have for lunch, it's got to think about how it's going to cook dinner, it's got to think about all the different chores that it has to do. And it actually not just has to think about it, it has to go out and do it. So as you can see, it's a little bumpy, it's a little... there's no sound in this because, again, this is Cinebench. Basically, it's just there to test your graphics and test your machine in certain different graphical environments with different graphical elements. So it is a little slow. In the next scene, you'll see, again, Cinebench, but we'll be doing it with a graphics card. By adding a graphics card, we increase the performance a little bit. And now it's not gonna all of a sudden you're gonna be able to play all these games on ultra settings and things like that. But what's happening now is, since the CPU no longer has to lift the weight of everything that's happening on this PC, it's got some help from the graphics card. It can kind of sit back and relax a little bit and, think a little bit more about what it would like to drink for lunch, as opposed to having to worry about what it's going to eat, cook, and prepare, as well as all the other stuff. Now, again, it also looks a lot better when you add a graphics card, simply because work is being shared between different components. In conclusion, $350, if that's all you have to build a PC and would like a PC that's custom built, that does not have all of the bloatware that you get from all these different manufacturers, this is the way to go. These particular components, it's really up to you. This is just a guide to kind of help you and show you that it is possible to build a PC for $350. Now, as you can see, you can hear in the background, there's noise going on, there's activity going on. I'm recording Minecraft gameplay off of this PC while I'm playing the game on the same PC. So the noises you hear are me actually moving around in the game, but the video that you see, it's a little delayed. It's dropping frames. It's not really showing you everything that's happening, and that's one of the major concerns that I have about this PC build, is that if you're trying to use this to stream off of, it's not something I would recommend that you do. You're gonna drop frames. You're gonna, this PC is great for playing games at one time, watching YouTube at one time, checking email at one time, but it's not good at doing all these things at the same time. And this is with the graphics card installed, mind you. So if you really, really want a $350 PC, I would say use this as a guide and then build off of this. The next thing I would do is, again, add the graphics card. That's one of the easiest things you could do. And then add a CPU upgrade. And for, I would say, about $500, $600, you should have a decent PC that will get you through whatever it is you guys want. What I use this PC for is, this is my streaming PC right now. I don't game off of it. I don't check YouTube or anything off of it. I use this to stream onto YouTube. So this basically captures my gameplay from my gaming rig if I am playing a PC game, and it throws up to YouTube. So that way, that particular gaming rig is dedicated just to the actual game, whereas this one is dedicated just to actual streaming. But I leave that up to you. This is Loki619. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, say hello, subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike, leave a comment as well, and get some therapy. This is Loki619. Love you guys. Be good. I'm out. Peace.